To celebrate our 40K milestone achievement, I'll teach you all how this gorgeous outfit made by Vicky James Official on Instagram was embellished. If you'll be interested in learning, please make sure you watch this video all the way through. Do not skip any part. Like the video, share with a friend, and don't hesitate to ask your questions down in the comment section. Let's get started. Hello friends, so as promised, I'm here with the tutorial on the pattern drafting, the beading and recreation of the design made by Vicky James for Osas Ighodaro's outfit for this year's AMVCs. By the time you guys are seeing this, I believe we've hit 40,000 subscribers on YouTube. So first of all, shout out to each and every one of you. Thank you. God bless you. God increase you. God meet you at the point of your needs in Jesus' name. I'm so thankful and so grateful. All right, guys, let's jump straight into the tutorial. So for this particular work, for the pattern drafting portion, which is what we'll be starting with, remember we had like a flower petal thing. Remember, if you watched the video where I was analyzing that design, Vicky James mentioned in the video that the pattern for the beadwork and design of the outfit was inspired by a particular design from a particular French designer, I believe. And if you've not seen that video, I suggest you go watch it. So we are going to first of all draft out that pattern. So we are going to need what we call a mat set. You guys remember mat sets from secondary school. So this Oxford mat sets, I know this my own is the quality has dropped. Basically, I bought this from a departmental store out here in Port Harcourt next Cash and Carry, but I believe you'll find it in any bookshop. So what we need from the mat set is what we call, I believe this is called, what's this called? I can't seem to remember it for the life of me, but you need this, and you also need your straight ruler, of course. So we're going to start off by drawing something like a box, and I'm just going to be using, I could just use this my square. This my square is 5 inches by 5 inches, so 5 inches width and 5 inches length. But remember, the size of your own pattern will depend on how large you want your petal to be. Okay, I'm using 5 by 5 because this is just a tutorial, just to get you guys to understand the basics of drafting your pattern. You also need a compass. I believe this is called a compass. Guys, I left secondary school in 2009, so do the maths. It's been a long time and I've not had to use any of these tools ever since. So forgive me if I cannot remember the name of some of these things. So first of all, we are going to start off by finding the midpoint of this particular fabric because we want to draw a perfect circle. Remember I said this paper is 5 inches by 5 inches. So we're going to first of all start off by finding the midpoint of this 5 inches, which is somewhere here. So I'm just going to mark that and then get my compass to be able to draw a perfect circle that will go all around this paper. I'm so sorry if what I'm doing is not telling on camera properly. I'll try and make adjustments so you guys can see. This is my circle. Oh my goodness. My light is so bright, but this is the circle. I hope you all can see. It's a perfect circle. So now the next thing, apologies if this looks dim for now. I just want us to be able to see what I'm working on right here. So now we are going to draw a circle at this midpoint right here. We're just going to draw a straight line. So we find like this is going to be like the diameter of this circle. We are doing a little bit of calculation here. And a full circle is 360 degrees. Remember the partitioning, I had to look at the video that was shared by Vicky James and kind of analyze it. So this is how I'm interpreting everything. The circle that they had going on in their pattern was divided into about 5 different places. So 360 degrees divided by 5 is going to give us 72 degrees for each portion. So this full circle that we have here, we're going to partition it into 5 places using this, our, I don't know what this is it compass? It's not compass. We're just going to use it using this right here. This is our half circle situation. If you guys know the name of this thing, please type it in the comment section for me and just kind of refresh my memory for me. Thank you. So 360, back to what we are saying, 360 divided by 5 is 72 degrees. So we're going to be marking 72 degrees on this item all over. If my husband was around, he would have told me, he would have reminded me, because he is more into this mathematical stuff. So I'm just marking my 72 degrees all over in order to divide this full circle into 5. Oh no, that's not good. I didn't align it properly. And then just for confirmation, you can check if this other one is 72 degrees, and as it should be, it's also 72 degrees. So each portion here is 72 degrees, 72 degrees, 72 degrees, 72 degrees all over. I hope we all understood. So we have like 5 different partitions here. This one here was created by that half circle line that we did. So I'm just going to erase this. So we have 5 equal portions in this our full circle. I have my phone in front of me, so I just want to look at that video again and kind of see how the petals were drawn. All right guys, so on to the next process. I've already done one. I'm just going to explain what I did here. So for each portion that we have here, remember we divided our circle into 5, and each portion is 72 degrees. For each 72 degrees, we are going to divide each 72 degree portion into 3, and that will give us 24 degrees each. All of these mathematics we are doing is just so you get a perfect pattern that would be reusable for your designs. This is pattern drafting for beading 101. All right, so we are going to measure 24 degrees, another 24 degrees. Let's make sure we are measuring this correctly. Okay, no, that's a mistake right there. I hope we all know how to read this particular item. I don't know what I use the name of this thing to do right now. Can't seem to remember its name. Hold on. Why do I keep marking nonsense? And then after marking each 24 degree, you just create a little curve, a wider curve, and another little curve. All right, I hope you understood what I did there. So what you did here, you repeat it here, here, and here. 24 degrees in 3 places in each section that we have, and then make your 3 curves. I hope we all understand. I hope we all get the gist. This is pretty easy to create. And remember, I'm using this little size that I have here because this is just for tutorial purposes. If you are creating something bigger, please magnify what you're doing and then use it accordingly. All right guys, so this is what we have right here. What I'm just going to do is I'm going to grab my paper scissors, and then before I even grab my paper scissors, I want to do, I don't even know how to go about this now guys. After 100 years of racking my brain, the name of this item right here is a protractor. It took me ages to remember it. So basically this is the pattern that we have going on here. I'm just going to cut this off this piece of paper. I hope you all got the gist of how to create this. Remember, when doing yours, make it into any size you want. You can make it bigger than this, but basically the basics of creating this pattern, we already understand it. So I'm just going to real quick use my paper scissors to just cut this off basically. All right friends, I hope we all understood the gist of drafting this particular pattern. So this is what we have here. This pattern is what is going to make the remaining part of this particular work that we are doing to move seamlessly. The next thing I'm going to do now is I'm going to grab my piece of net. I hope this pattern fits into this. Does it? It's not going to work. So I think instead of even using illusion net for this particular work, now I wish I could ask you guys a question. Should we use illusion net for this work or should we use felt? I think I'm going to go with felt, but remember, everything I'm doing on my felt fabric applies to this illusion net as well. It's the exact same thing. I've shared a tutorial on how to bead on illusion net, so if it's illusion net you are using for your own design, please do the needful. So I'm just going to grab a piece of felt fabric and then we'll start beading and recreating the design that we saw basically. So please give me a second, I'll be right back. All right friends, so I have my felt fabric right here. Next thing I'm going to do is to grab my fabric pencil and then replicate this pattern that we have here on this felt fabric. Remember, if you don't have fabric pencil, don't feel any type of way. You can also use your tailor's chalk. I just like fabric pencil because it's easier to maintain for me. I find that I always break my tailor's chalk pretty often and all that, but I don't have to deal with that kind of challenge when using fabric pencil. What I'm doing here, there's no rocket science. I'm simply just tracing out the edge of what I've drawn, and you see that it's already replicated on the fabric. I'm just going to now trim this off this fabric real quick. All right friends, so now that we've cut this pattern out on a piece of felt fabric, I'm going to give you options. So remember, when for the video we're working on, they have this pattern drawn out on a dress, as opposed to me that is just trying to teach you guys how to draft the pattern and how to, you know, work with it on your dress. Instead of cutting it out like me, of course you're drawing this pattern on your dress and then you start beading on the pattern. But for me, what I'm seeing going on in the video is they did not bead those lines in between this pattern on the dress. I'll try my best to put a picture or something on the screen for you guys to understand. I believe it was rhinestones that were carefully layered at these points. I might be wrong. Remember, this dress was made by Vicky James. I am not the creator. I'm just teaching you guys in case you want to recreate something similar, how to go about it. I believe off camera, because we didn't really see how that whole process worked on camera. Off camera, maybe they carried the dress and then they carefully placed rhinestones. What I'm saying there are rhinestones, not beads. So, and I'm also going to illustrate how the rhinestone process will work in this video. But for the edge of this pattern, I believe it was beaded using rose montees, tiny rose montees. So for me, I don't have the time for beading rose montees because I want this video to be pretty quick and I have a lot of other things to do. So if you are doing yours, you can get your beaders to bead rose montees along the edge of the drawn out pattern. Remember, you're drawing a pattern on your dress and you have your beaders working. And if you're the one doing it as well, you do the needful. You bead rose montees along the edge of this pattern. But for me, for the sake of today's video, what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab my cup chain and I'm going to use cup chain to secure the edge of this piece of fabric. I'm going to do that real quick, and then after that we'll move on to the inner part of this circle where we'll be placing our rhinestones. Remember, all of these are subject to change. You can make your own changes. If you don't want to do the whole rhinestone method I'm working with in this video, you can decide to bead on straight lines, do the straight beading and create something fabulous for yourself. But for me, I'm working with rhinestones and I'll show us. But real quick, let me get my cup chain, secure the edge of this piece of fabric, and then we'll move on to the next stage. All right friends, so we've secured the edge of this particular piece of fabric. Now to get to the inner part. So first of all, before I get to that portion, I want to first of all kind of like get the midpoint. And to get the midpoint, what I'm doing is I'm just taking my compass. Okay, so this is about 10 inches. I'm just going to, 10 centimeters. So I'll just bring it down a bit to like 2.5 centimeters. I want a little circle situation at the center of this. How did I even do that stuff again? I hope we all can see what I drew here. So that center is just going to be bare, like what we have in the video. And then now I'll just be drawing lines, just little lines. There's not too much thought to it. This is just me just using the power of my imagination. So I hope we are all getting the gist. Now I'm using some rhinestones. These rhinestones, there's the Swarovski one. This is not Swarovski stone. This is just like a regular stone. I bought this from Mr. Chibike. I said Mr. Chibike. Mr. Okoro in Rumasi, but you typically find it in your sewing accessories shop. I'm just going to use them. My Swarovski stones are pretty expensive, so I'm not willing to use them for experiments such as what we are doing here. So if you are doing for a client and you believe the clients paid for quality, use a better type of stone, because the Swarovski stone, the difference between Swarovski and this one is Swarovski is very sparkly and the end result will be more beautiful basically. So using my regular fabric glue, just applying a little bit on each line that has been drawn. Then another use for your fabric pencil, you can use it as a picker for your stones. So let me just place this here and start to arrange. Can we see what I'm doing here? So this is one line, we've drawn it right here. Next, draw another line of glue. For those that might be curious, I'm using the E7000 glue because of the police women, some of my police women here. You are not showing us the glue that you are using. Why are you gatekeeping? You don't always, and most people, when maybe for some reason out of maybe I'm just not paying enough attention, I don't show something. You are always hiding things. They'll turn it to something that I always do as opposed to, oh, please can you show us what you are using? It's always so funny when I read those comments. Anyway, I love you guys still. So, as we can see, we are going to be in for this for the long haul. It's going to be a while. But the point is that I want you guys to just understand what's going on here. You are basically just arranging your stones. For big fashion houses, I believe there's something called there should be this like rhinestone machine. So I don't think they will be doing all this wastage of time hand crafting. I don't know. I can't really say for sure, but if you are doing this on a dress, you can imagine how many hours it's going to take. So that's pretty much it for this particular one. I'm going to go off camera now, kind of complete what I'm doing here, and then show us the end result. And then it will be time for us to do the beading pattern that was done on the bust area of the dress. For the ones on the train, remember they also use this same pattern, and then they crafted this pattern on a bunch of like two nets, and then they basically placed it on the train, and then they beaded the edges. So if you've not seen my previous beading video, the dotted beading pattern, you can go check it out. That's basically what was used for that particular portion of the dress. So cut your pattern on net, bead along the edge, and place it aesthetically on the fabric you're trying to work on. I hope we all get the gist. If you are enjoying this video so far, comment well done. Tell me well done in the comment section, because it will let me know that you guys are listening. I'm not just talking to myself in this video. Comment well done so I know you made it up to this point. Again, like I said, I'll go off camera, arrange these my rhinestones all over, and then I'll show us the end result. I would have done it on camera, but are you guys willing to watch me arrange rhinestones for hours? I don't think so. So I'll see you guys very soon. All right, friends, so we are done with this particular piece. Remember, you can do any combination of rhinestone you like. In the main video, we can see that at the bottom here we had like some golden rhinestones going on here, but for me, because I just wanted you guys to get the gist of this entire process, I didn't really bother with the color combination. I used my regular fabric glue, this E7000, to just paste the glue, to just paste the rhinestones on the fabric. And this is what we have here. We see that this style mimics what we had going on in the main video. So remember, because this is just for educational purposes, I did this on a piece of fabric. For you, do yours on the main outfit you're trying to design and create something incredibly stunning. I hope you guys are happy with this tutorial. I hope you got value from it. Up next, we're going to be working on the beading pattern that was done on the bust area, and for that I'm going to just share what we'll be doing. So let's just get right into that. All right guys, so on to the next. I'm using my little tambour ring right here, and from what we can see, we have like a circle situation going on, and then the circle kind of busts into a splash. So I'm just going to draw with my free hand a random circle at the center of this fabric, as we can see here, and then afterwards we'll work on the splash in between. For this circle here, I'm just going to do a cluster beading pattern using a combination. Let me show you what I'll be using. I'll be using some sequins, this kind of like what they call this, champagne gold kind of gold, and then I have this yellow gold sequence going on. In addition, I'll use some broken glass beads in gold as well as this gold seed beads. I'm going to kind of imbibe the method that Vicky used in her video. We saw that she did, like, she just poured a bunch of beads and kind of like mixed everything together. So that's exactly what I'll be doing for this video. I'll throw in some sprinkles of sequins as well, here and there, and then kind of like mix it all together. For our own work, she used a different type of sequins. Our own sequins are kind of smaller than what I have going on here, but we'll still make it work. I want to kind of reduce the quantity of sequins I'm using because I see that it's quite a lot. So it's just this like medley of beads that I have going on here that we're going to be working with. Explaining this entire process might not really cut it, so I'm just going to give you guys a montage of what I'm doing and how I'm beading. If we have questions for me, please, 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 as usual, do not hesitate to ask your questions in the comment section after you've endeavored to watch the video all the way through. All right, friends, so this is it for this particular one. So you see that we did just a clustered beading here. I just did a couple of different beading patterns just to kind of populate the circle that I made at this center. I used sequins, I used a clustone, I used seed beads, broken glass bead, rose montes, just a bunch of things. So for you, you can even add pearls if you want to use. Just do a clustered beading here using different beading patterns just to populate that whole center. And then I have my rose montes creating like the splash effect. I know I have just 4 here, but for you, you can populate yours all around this like situation that we have here. And there you have it, guys. I hope we all enjoyed today's tutorial. Remember, we did 2 different beading patterns, and I hope we all understood as well everything that I explained in this video. If we did, if we got value from the video, please, as usual, let's be sure to give this video a big fat thumbs up. I hope we all enjoyed. I really, really hope so. If you enjoyed, please type well done down in the comment section. I believe I mentioned it earlier. Just type well done in the comment section, and also feel free to also tell me anything you feel about this video. Thank you guys so much again for 40,000. Remember, I promised us this video as a celebration for 40k, so thank you so much for 40k. And yeah, guys, I can't wait to see you all in another video very, very soon. Bye bye.